Did you know that the English Bulldog is one of the most popular mascots in the United States? They represent dozens of universities, hundreds of sports teams and high schools, and they even represent corporations such as Mack Trucks. They are also the unofficial mascot of the U.S. Marines. Even the great Winston Churchill during World War II was given the nickname of the British Bulldog. English Bulldogs are known for their strength, their power, and their determination. I grew up in a small town in Missouri, and my high school mascot was the Bulldog. So from a young age, I was a Sikeston Bulldog, and I was very proud of that. I always thought they were mean looking and tough and intimidating, and that was a great mascot. I could definitely see why. And through that time, I was able to be around a couple of English Bulldogs, and I was never a huge fan. I thought that the breed itself was ugly and slobbery, and I had heard they were stubborn. But as fates would have it, my husband's lifelong dream was to own a bulldog. So when it came time to start our family, we started talking about getting a dog first. And my husband really wanted the English Bulldog. And so hesitantly, I agreed because I really wanted a dog and he really wanted that. So to make him happy, I agreed. Today, I want to share a little bit about my experience with getting our Bulldog Mac and kind of the research I've done as the breed. I thought he was a very interesting dog, getting to know him a little more, and I was curious about his background. So today I want to kind of walk through with you the origins and their history and kind of the evolution of the dog and how they became what they are today. And I think you'll be very interested in what their history has been. So there's been some debate on their actual ancestry, but we do know that they originated in the British Isles around the 1500s. The earliest English Book of Dogs, 1576, was written by Johannes Caius of Cambridge, and that book does not specifically mention the Bulldog, which would lead us to believe that the breed itself had not made an appearance yet. But Dr. Caius did describe the Mastiff, or a band dog, and he described that as being a vast, huge, stubborn, ugly, and eager dog of a heavy and burdenous body. So you can kind of see the beginnings of a bulldog. And back then, in those times, the Mastiff was typically used as a broad term for any large or massive dog. And a lot of times these dogs were used to serve butchers to bring in their cattle and kind of help control them, and also wild boars or ox, any kind of large livestock, they were used for that. So these bulldogs were, we don't know exactly when they became, as I said, the actual breed, but the reason they became, we do know, and that's because they were bred to be used in a sport called bull baiting. And bull baiting, as I've done some research and looked in the encyclopedias, is described as a bull was placed into a pit or an arena, and they were tethered down, and dogs, either one dog or several, were placed into the pit with the bull, and they were there to kind of fight to the death, gladiator style. So the popularity of this sport grew from the 1200s to the mid-1800s, and it started because the butchers, they'd have these massive dogs to help them, and they would brag about their dogs, being stronger, more courageous, or tougher. And these dogs could withstand a lot of pain and not notice it, so they'd go through a lot. And the bragging kind of turned into, oh yeah, we'll put your money where your mouth is. So it became a sport where they were bet on, and it grew to be very popular. People from all economic statuses enjoyed watching and betting on the bull baiting. So these dogs were bred and trained to latch on to the bull the bull's nose and to not let go either until the dog had pinned the bull or the bull had killed the dog. Sid, I'm sorry, this name is hard to say. Sydenham Edwards described this new fighting breed that had started to come. He described it in the 1800s in the Cynographia Britannica, and he described this new breed as having a head round and full, muzzle short, ears small, chest wide, body round, with limbs very muscular and strong, a tail rarely erect, and the most striking characteristic was the underjaw. The pet MD kind of described why the Bulldog took on these traits and how these traits helped them fight in the ring. They said the low, thick-set body and the broad shoulders, it allowed for the Bulldog to crawl low to the ground and avoid the bull's horns. And their large round head, that was so that they would have room for their jaws. And then the underbite that was described, that was so they could hang on to the bull, and even if it was shaking, they wouldn't let go because they had that massive jaw and underbite. And they also have, if you've ever seen, when they have a scrunched nose, flat to their face, and that was so that whenever they were biting onto the bull and they were close range, they could still breathe without letting go. They also have deep wrinkles in their face, and this was so that any blood or dirt or anything like that, it would go past their eyes and it wouldn't go into their eyes. And then they also have loose joints, and this was so that whenever they were grabbed onto the bull and not letting go, the bull would shake and try to thump them off. And these loose joints help them to not have their backs broken or their ribs broken during that process of being shaken. They were also bred to have surprising dexterity. They could move very swiftly in short periods of time, and they could leap suddenly, which is odd considering how heavy and thick they are. But that stays with them today. The bull baiting was outlawed by Parliament in 1835, and this gave a little scare to a lot of breeders of that time, because that's what those dogs were used for. They were used for the sport, and so once the sport left, a lot of the interest in these dogs left, except for the owners. The owners grew very close with their dogs because off of the field they were very tame and loyal to their owners. So today the breed of the English Bulldog is very easygoing and mellow because the aggression has been bred out of them, but they still keep that same tenacity and headstrong natures that they had back in their early days. Now a couple other their features that they maintain from those bullfighting days. They are a very dominant breed, so when you do have them as pets, you have to treat them that way and let them know you're the boss. They are very devoted and loyal to their families. They're highly intelligent and they're problem solvers, and they are natural protectors. Just for example, my dog Mac, one Halloween, we were doing we call it a scare walk for our nieces and nephews, where the dads dress up in scary clothes and go out and hide in the dark. Well, Mac, who has never attacked anybody or shown any kind of aggression, saw one of the dads lurking around in the backyard, and he started barking at him, getting in his protective stance. Well, the dad didn't go away, so Mac started chasing after him and ran him down into the woods. So, and the dad was really scared, and he knew this man. So it was very interesting to see his natural nature come out in him in that way. And it made me feel really good that my family will be safe if anybody really does come to get us. In order to understand who people are, it's easier if we know and understand their past, because we can see what's happened to them up to that point. The same kind of goes with dogs, I think. Knowing what their history is like we can understand why the Bulldog is so tough and why they're built so sturdy and strong, and why they have that fighting spirit in them, and why people see them as so tough. Abraham Lincoln once advised men to hold on with a bulldog grip. It's the English Bulldog teaches us to hang on and to hold on no matter the pain and to not let go. And it's a great lesson for all of us, especially for those who hold the mascot or who hold the English Bulldog as their mascot.